Good afternoon, everyone. Ian Maddox, Hitchcock Maddox Financial Partners, and I'm standing here in front of Bryant Bank, which is literally across the street from our office. And we're going to continue our community series, but technically over the long term, this is the financial planning video series, and we're glad you're here with us. I have a friend today that I want to connect with about community banking and financial literacy. So Jeremy, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit,
Sure.
Tell us your background and what you do here for Bryant Bank in our community.
So I'm Jeremy Tuggle. I'm the city president here for Bryant Bank in Trussville. Married to Lauren for 15 years, got 4 kids, 10, 8, 5, and 3. And so my role here at the bank is just to sort of oversee our Trussville operation, just kind of make sure we have a good presence in the community.
That's great. I can tell you, I'm going to brag on Jeremy a little bit. I've known him for a number of years, and if there's somebody that's committed to the city of Trussville and helping them to be the very best they can be financially, this is one of your guys. And he and I have worked Chamber of Commerce. He's involved with the Trussville City Schools Foundation, and he and I have also helped teach classes at the high school in their business academy specific to financial literacy, just basically the basics of finance. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I am sometimes surprised, but maybe shouldn't be, that even adults, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, the things that you may need to know, should know for your own advocacy, for your own benefit, aren't always understood. So, and I know you see that from a very broad perspective. You have individual retail clients, you have business clients, you have folks that have loans, you have folks that have deposit accounts. So, from a community banking standpoint, what are some of the things that you think that people can leverage from a banking standpoint that maybe they don't or should?
So I would say, just on a very basic level, technology is fantastic today, no question. You can pull out your apps, you can figure out your balance for the most part, but there can be a little bit too much reliance on that. So what I mean is, you pull it out and your account says you've got X amount of dollars in there, and you go to the store and you think, well, I'm good, and you swipe your card, the card lets it go through, but you forgot about this bill that you initiated the night before, and it causes an overdraft situation. So there's a lot of people that think, well, my card let me do that, so I'm in good shape, and it's really just not the case. People could really benefit from just some old school check balance.
Balancing their checkbook.
It seems simple, but it's really one of those things where we don't really ever teach it, and it's, if the card works, hey, I'm good to go. And it can really be costly when you do that. And the other thing I'll say is sort of understanding credit. You don't have to be just this massive risk analysis person, but your credit score matters, and that can be impacted with a number of things. But you can boil it down to, hey, do you just pay your bills on time? You got a bill in, you pay it. Really, if you pay your bills on time and you're balancing your checkbook, you're ahead of 75% of the game.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. And I know we've talked about this a lot in terms of how we can best position our students here in our community, and of course this extrapolates to the entire state and the country. But what information do students need to have? But again, as you've seen, it's even adults, right? I mean, this is stuff that you wish people knew, and then they don't always, and they have to learn it the hard way.
That's exactly right. Overdrafts are not cheap. There's fees involved, and we try to show grace as much times as we can, but it comes a point with every bank that if there's a lot of overdrafts, there are fees involved, and it becomes a very expensive mistake to make. So that balancing is important for sure.
If there was just a couple of pieces of advice that that you say are universal, and it may stem off of what you just said, but universal advice you'd give, whether it's a retail customer or a business customer, kind of what are those things that you see, like just themes that repeat themselves over and over again? And again, it may be a repeat, I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, the most important thing I think is sort of manage your money, don't let your money manage you. You really need to, it boils down to balancing that checkbook, balancing those accounts. And the people that we see that are the most successful are the ones that know where their dollars are going. There's really a plan, and I'm not going to say it's so rigid as where every penny's going. I mean, there's going to be some spending that happens, but you need to know basically where you stand to sort of get a leg up. And these kind of things can snowball on you. You miss a payment here, you have an overdraft there, you wake up and you got a 570 credit score, and you're dealing with an overdraft in the bank. It's hard to get a lot of things done. It's hard to get approved for a car loan. It's hard for home lending. You pay higher rates. all that stuff matters, but it just boils down to that basic, hey, how much do I have? How much can I spend? And making sure that you don't over leverage yourself with credit card debt.
Yeah. And I'll tell you from my perspective, and this will stem right off of this, Trussville, if you don't know, is a fairly well-off community. And I think Jeremy would tell you that you sometimes can be surprised that people have certain inflow, like they may have a lot of income, but they don't always balance their stuff right. This is not a matter of how much income you have, right? Someone could make a lot of money and still not balance their finances well, and not always make the best decisions. All of us have made financial mistakes, here, right?
Absolutely.
And so it's just this is universal advice, just to say that margin is incredibly important, no matter what it is. Yeah, go ahead.
And one thing I'll say is, Ian and I sort of live in this financial world, and I recognize that most people don't. And so I would recommend wherever your bank is, go in, spend some time with your banker, and walk through sort of where you're sitting. It's okay to have those conversations. We welcome it, and I know Ian in his world, he welcomes it as well. You want to, that relationship matters, and if you ever have a bump in the road, I wouldn't want to call an 800 number for the bump. I would want to call a person.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the 800 number, but I want to know the person behind it. So that relationship matters, and it can help, and it can sort of help you set out a roadmap that makes sense for your individual needs.
100%, because in many ways, math is math, right? Finances are finances, but relationship is really where someone can help you to become better. And so that's the whole idea of a community bank, right? Is that people are really building a relationship, and that's the same thing we do in our business model from a financial planning perspective. So appreciate your time, Jeremy. As always, man. We'll get out there and maybe go for a run one of these days. So.
Yeah,
maybe. Till next time, Ian Maddox, HMFP. If you can connect with us any way you want, happy to help. I know Jeremy is too. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.